going to do a little snippet from That's What Friends Are For.
I love it.
And I never thought I'd feel this way. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad I finally came to say that I do believe I love you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Afro Expats. Michelle here with another fabulous guest. Her name is Lauren Jade, and she lives in Puerto Vallarta. I'm really excited to speak to her because she does these amazing Gladys Knight tributes, and I'm excited to share that with you guys. I saw her recap of her first show, which was the Friday after Thanksgiving. Amazing. So I'm really excited to share with everyone in the audience. Thank you so much. We're going to talk about her journey to Mexico, her journey to Puerto Vallarta, why, where she's from, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to let her fill you in on all the blanks. And thank you so much, Lauren, for taking the time to spend with me and talk to everyone in my audience about why here. One more quick thing, please don't forget to subscribe. If you love what I'm bringing to you guys in terms of content, hit the subscribe button. Also, hit the notification button so you know when a new video of mine is available. Thank you again. And you can go right ahead, Lauren. Thank you for being here again.
Thank you. So my name is Lauren Jade. I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama. Yes, Roll Tide Roll. So I'm a Southern girl at heart, but I live currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been there for the past 4 or 5 years. But my journey to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, a really good friend of mine who I worked with on a cruise ship. So I used to work for Carnival Cruise Lines as well.
Oh, okay.
So I met this great guy. He was really, really funny. And we were in the same band. He's a singer as well. His name is Kevin Anthony.
Okay.
Some people may know him from doing the Lionel Richie and Stevie Wonder tribute
Okay.
that people have been seeing around. So he got to Puerto Vallarta on vacation, went to Vidanta, one of the major resorts here, and got a job.
Okay.
So once he got the opportunity to produce his own show, he called me up, and it was really funny because he asked me, what are you doing for the holidays? Do you have anything booked? And I said, no, I don't have anything booked out in advance. Gigs on land are a bit tricky. So they don't call you unless it's confirmed. So at the time, I didn't have anything for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, or anything for that matter until May of 2022, because that's wedding season.
Okay.
So he said, hey, I'm producing the show. And he said, remember, we talked about you doing Gladys for the cruise ships. He said, why don't you just come down here and do it here and give it a test, let you run it. And then if it's something that you're comfortable with doing, moving forward, you can then take it and do it on the cruise ship. So I said, okay. I just thought he was playing. I thought this was like a brainstorming type of thing. And next thing you know, he sent me a plane ticket and was like, I talked to the guy that owns Act 2 PV. His name is Danny Manini. And he says, we're expecting you. So, get on the plane and we'll work everything out. So I called my mom. I had a conversation with my boyfriend, who I also met on the cruise ship as well. And he said, I think this will be a good thing. You've been talking about it for a while. So, go ahead and do it. So he's back at home in Charlotte. And so far, I've gotten a great response. I I was really, really nervous because I didn't understand at the time of creating the show how Gladys strategically wrote her songs at a specific period of time.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is her songs, neither one of us, it talks about holding on to something that you know isn't good for you, whether it's a friendship, a relationship. In some people's terms, it could be a job. It could be a situation that you have going on, and how you struggle with that. You want to try to make it work. You want to try to make it, the best thing. But sometimes we're holding on to debt weight that could literally kill us. And neither one of us, whether it's the job or the person or the friendship or the particular season that we're going through, neither one of us want to part. And as I kept listening to the words, because I'm 33, so I'm not that old to or experienced when it comes in the love department, the heartache department, heartbreak department. So just listening to most of the words of all of her songs that are also her greatest hits, I was like, man, I can relate to this. So I started writing down things that were going on in my life that really resonated with that song. So as I looked at everything, I was like, now I can create a pattern. I have a story. I actually have a storyline. So for the show, Gladys, even though I'm paying tribute to a living legend, I'm also telling my story of what it was like to be in love for the first time, to hear gossip about a guy that I was dating. That's where Heard It Through the Grapevine comes in.
Okay.
And just my imagination. It's like I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation. So now I'm imagining things. So each song took me on a journey of what it was like being in love with someone, hearing rumors about whether or not this guy was entertaining this other girl, to finding out and saying, you know what, even though I know you did me wrong, I still want to make it work, but it's not healthy. So neither one of us wants to say goodbye.
Okay.
And make it the change of, do I want to sit out and have a pity party, or do I want to get off my behind and make a change?
Right.
And that's where I Hope You Dance comes in. And then I give the audience homework. So I talk about the life that we have now, the world that we're living in. Black Lives Matter, Me Too, just African Americans or people of the African diaspora wanting to have equal rights. And majority of my market, whether it's doing a wedding, singing telegrams, or singing for the masses, I have a predominantly white audience. So it was really homework for them to make that change. So I made everyone during the intermission, I said, whether you've got a COVID shot or not, whether you believe in COVID or not, whether you believe Black Lives Matter or not, whether you believe that there are bisexual people, gay people, LGBTQ people, whatever, whether you voted for Trump or Biden, I want you to walk up to someone that you do not know. And I want you to start by introducing yourself. So once I came back, I did Love Overboard, and then I took a break and I asked people in the audience, who did you meet? Who did you share a genuine connection with? And a lot of people were not afraid to just walk up to people and say, hi, my name is Lauren, or hi, my name is Michelle, hi, my name is Bob. And I say, you may never see these people again, but at least you made the effort. And that's what it starts with.
I love that.
Yeah, so the basis of Gladys is not only heartbreak and falling in love and trusting again. My pitch to it is, who wants to get on board the friendship train?
Right.
These are my friends. My audience is my friends. And I ask them, can we be friends? I want to tell you about what's going on in my life as a friend. And a lot of us can relate to it. So from Love Overboard, I go into Midnight Train to Georgia. And from there, after that song, I ask for the youngest couple in the room, whether they're married or dating. and the oldest couple in the room. And I asked them for advice as a young newlywed couple and as a couple that's been married for years, almost decades. And then from there, I dedicate the next song, which is Every Beat of My Heart, which is their very first single. And it talks about, with every beat of my heart, you are everything to me. You're the reason that I want to be better. You challenge me to be better. You love me for being me. And I want to show my appreciation to you with every beat of my heart. And after that, I go into my finale of Memories, which was a song that was originally for Barbara Streisand that Gladys covered. And then I go into That's What Friends Are For. And I thank people for coming in to listen to me vent and to kind of go on the journey with me. And then I say, oh, I got one more song. Is it okay if we do one more song? And I go into You're the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. And thank you people for taking their time out, spending their Friday with me. It could have been anywhere else, but they decided to spend time with me. And I go out and I mingle. I hug people. I say, if you don't mind me hugging you, I'm a hugger. So if you don't mind me hugging you or shaking your hand, wait for me out in the lobby. I said, just give me 5 minutes, kind of pat my makeup and freshen up. And we took pictures. Everybody stayed. Everybody thanked me. They were like, oh my God, I was not expecting this. I had no idea that you could tell a story just from Gladys's songs. And I was like, I know, right? I had no idea either. I just wrote down her favorite hits. So that's how Gladys came about. And that's how I got here. And I love it here.
That's so awesome. So yeah, you just took us on a journey for sure. But I want to find out, like, how did you end up choosing? Well, let's go back even before that. Let's talk about a little bit about where you're from. I know how you got here. You're originally from Montgomery, Alabama, and you ended up moving. You said you were there you were in North Carolina for 5 years. The 5 years, okay. Like, at what point did those things happen? And you said you performed previously on Carnival, correct? So how did that kind of come about? And like, at what point did you decide or discover that, hey, I like to sing? Like, what?
So a lot of people don't know this. Only my close friends and family know this.
And now everybody knows it.
A dancer. I wanted to dance.
Okay.
This lady named Tania Stewart, she's my professor, or was my professor at Alabama State University. That's where I got my degree, fine arts, bachelor's in fine arts. But as a kid, there's a college called Alabama State University, and there's a band called the Mighty Marching Hornets. At age 9, I saw the Stingettes. That was the first time where I really said in my mind, I want to dance. Whatever they're doing, I want to do that. So my mom put me in classes, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Dr. Stewart has this camp called 3T, and it stands for Teaching Through Theater. So she does a lot of, she hones in on the acting aspect, dancing and singing. I auditioned to sing, but each time I got called to take a solo in whatever song, I was always in dance call. So I never got the opportunity as a young kid to really showcase singing in the theatrical world. But singing coming from church. So I'm Kojic, my family's Kojic, so it stands for Church of God in Christ, for those who don't know. And I have aunts that sing. So how I started singing, basically, I was the kid in church that passed notes, that laughed. If people caught the Holy Ghost, I was the kid that was laughing because I thought it was funny. So my mom,
I always thought it was extra, but okay.
yes, I was like, oh, Lord,
Sorry, don't want to offend anyone
yeah,
out
don't
there, but
offend
yeah,
anybody. But I was a kid. I didn't know any better.
right.
So I was like, oh, Lord, Sister Jones wig them fell off on the floor, Lord. So I'm just giggling, me and my cousins. And my mom was, she wasn't strict. She was, just act accordingly where you're supposed to be at. Church was not one of those places where you're supposed to act up. So my mom put me in the sunshine choir. And that's one of the reasons where my mom could keep an eye on me from the congregation. So it just started from there. And as I got older, I continued dancing, I continued acting, but I really didn't get into singing as in, okay, I kind of like it. It's okay. It'll do until I got into junior high. That's when I joined the choir. So then I had a love for group singing, not just a choir and a soloist, but all of us making music with our voices.
Right.
So I really loved it at that point. Fast forward to college, graduated college, went to grad school in Chicago. So I went to DePaul. Didn't finish. I felt like I don't need a degree to make a living for the arts. I just need to have the experience and let me build my resume. And I got a gig on Carnival. A friend of mine told me about it, who I graduated college from. He is now a cruise director. And he said, hey, Lauren, I think you'd be great to do this. And he sent me some videos and I said, no, kind of not interested. I didn't like the music that they were singing.
Okay.
And the music, the choice or style of music that they were singing was classic rock.
Oh.
So it's crazy because classic rock is now one of my favorite genres. So I don't know if it was the way they sounded.
At what point did you start singing classic rock? Is that
I started singing classic rock once I decided to audition for Carnival.
Okay.
Audition and got the gig. And I was like, oh, okay, this music isn't that bad. So I was convinced that it was the person singing it.
Right. Okay.
I didn't favor the way they were singing it. So I did Carnival for 6 years.
Wow. Okay.
And I met my boyfriend on Carnival. I met him my very first contract. And he's a DJ.
Okay.
So after we would get off the ship, so we're 6 months on and about a month or two off.
Where did you guys go to? Like, where did this Carnival cruise go? What countries?
So the places that I've gone to, Aruba, gone to Curacao, gone to Jamaica, Antigua, Hawaii, Puerto Vallarta.
Okay. So kind of Caribbean, but some of it on the Pacific side. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've done the Mediterranean one. So I've gone to Greece. Where's the other one? Because that ship ports out of Barcelona. And then I've done one out of Sydney, Australia. So I've been to every port. Yeah, I've been to every port that it stops at. Okay. Out of those 6 years. Okay. So how I got to Charlotte, my boyfriend is originally from New York. So I would travel to New York. If you've ever been in New York, finding a place to stay as far as a hotel is very expensive. Even Hotel 6s are expensive in New York. But in Alabama, it was too slow for him. It was just right for me, but too slow for him. And he said, why don't we just find a place, to call our own? And I had to think about it. I said, well, let me get back to you. Because I'd never lived lived alone with a man before. So I talked to my mom about it. And by that time, me and my boyfriend had been dating for 2 years. My mom said, well, you're 28. just take some time. So I made him wait an extra year.
Mhm.
And we mapped out. I was like, well, how is this going to work? Where's the money going to come from? How are we going to do bills? And he was like, you ask a lot of questions. I said, yeah, because I need to know. I need to
Right.
know this. And he's 17 years older than me.
Okay.
So I was really kind of like on the fence.
Mhm.
But just with patience,
Mhm.
he said, whenever you're ready, just let me know. And we decided to go to Charlotte. It's
Mhm.
5 hours driving from my family in Alabama,
Mhm.
and it's a 2-hour flight to New York if we need
Okay.
to, go to New York.
Mhm.
And it's 9 to 10 hours driving, so both of us could handle that.
Mhm.
So that's how I got to Charlotte. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So
So you
I
got
just
to
like,
Charlotte, and then we heard about how you got to Puerto Vallarta, but like, what does he feel about that? What does your family feel about it? And, I know we'll talk a little bit more about how long the show is going to be running. And yeah.
now I've traveled abroad. My first time traveling abroad was age 12.
Mhm.
And this was in school. We went to Italy for a dance intensive. This was right when I first started taking classes.
Mhm.
And we did an intensive. We visited Sardinia. We stopped in Frankfurt to catch the train
Mhm.
from Frankfurt to Sestriere, Italy, and then from
Okay.
there to Sardinia, which is an island. So I've traveled abroad. I've always wanted to just adventure and explore.
Mhm.
Just never knew at the time what I really wanted to do.
Mhm.
My dad is very reserved. He's a bit easygoing now, but my dad is one of those Southern fathers that's like, don't go over there. Those people will kidnap you. He's that type of parent.
Okay.
If he hears one bad thing that happens in another country, he thinks that the entire country
It's
is
this
like
way.
that. Yeah. So he's like, when I started going to Jamaica on the ship, he was like, "Don't go over there. They don't like American Black people." And I'm like, "Dad, that's not true. Like,
Yeah.
it happens, but we
Wow.
have people that are killing people in Alabama." So I'm like,
Yeah. I just find
there's
it
bad
really
things
ironic.
happening everywhere.
I find it ironic, and this is not only applicable to your dad, obviously, but it's applicable to our culture in the
Yeah,
US that we can't see, like it's like the kettle calling, whatever they call the
yeah,
pot black or whatever. I know I got that wrong, but it's that whole idea of, we can't see what's going on around us and how negative that is because we're so immune to it.
yeah,
And, like you said, you hear one or two bad things somewhere else, and we're just like sudden fear. Because, when
yeah,
I lived in Florida, you hear negative news, or even Connecticut, you hear negative news. You watch the news almost like it's nothing, right?
yeah,
Like I used to, do a bunch of things, and news would be on CNN or the local news, this shooting happened there, someone got robbed, someone got stabbed, and it wouldn't even
yeah,
faze me. I would just be like, oh, I don't know that. Okay, I don't know what, oh, that happened kind of close to here. Okay. But it's like you just carry on.
yeah,
But yeah, let something happen like outside these walls, even living
yeah,
here, I'll be like, oh my God, like, all freaked out.
yeah,
But it's a conditioning thing. And I
yeah.
think that we don't process the same way. We just assume, oh, that's
Right,
like it's not under control. So it's just
right.
interesting from a psychological standpoint how, conditioned we are to ignore what's kind of happening around it, which it happens more frequently than
Yeah.
it does here. So yeah, just throwing that out there. Nothing against your
And
pops.
I told my dad, I was like, well, Dad, the only thing I can do is pray. And if it's my time, it's my time.
That's true. I believe that.
I have to see what life is like
Mhm.
outside of Alabama. And I'm in a red state. So imagine, like I tell people, oh, you haven't seen racism until you come to the deep South where I am. It is very prominent. It's not anything that is like passive aggressive. It's nothing that is like, oh, I just want to say that little joke and hope you get it. No, it's out there.
I know.
So I try to tell my dad, well, back then I was like, well, Dad, you should visit to some of these places because they're not what you think they are. The people there are not what you think it is. And certain parts of Italy, they had never seen Black people in person. They saw Black people on TV, but had never seen Black people in person. And that was a shell shock for me because now the thoughts are like, they're staring at me. Are they going to do something? What is,
Right.
So just trial and error and just learning and just, Lauren, just be yourself, say hey, and keep it moving.
Right.
That's pretty much what it was. Now my mom, on the other hand, is like, go.
Good.
Wherever you need to be, go. I am proud of you. My mom will travel. So wherever I'm going, if I'm on the cruise ship, I tell the guests, I'm like, my mom cruises on a contract at least 3 or 4 times out of that contract. My mom has no problem with packing her bag and jet setting.
Good for her.
So she'll be here in February. She's in 2 weeks.
Nice.
She's been to Puerto Vallarta before because we came here frequently on the cruise ship.
Okay.
So she's familiar with the port area and the shopping malls and certain restaurants.
But has she stayed in Mexico? She hasn't. Okay. So this is going to be and she's staying for how long? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Okay. You got to show her the Ritz, girl.
Yes. I got to show her everything.
Yes. Because there's a lot to see and it's a very different trip when you are integrated, not just, I always say the cruise is like a little fluff, you get to see it. You can say, oh, I landed in Mexico and I've been to Puerto Vallarta, but you haven't actually been anywhere on a cruise unless you spend time in that place or space. I just think, and that's cool. Like, I think the cruise is about the ship. It's not really, it's stopping to give you a break, but you're not really experiencing the country. So that'll be amazing for her. And maybe at the end we can chat some more because I know a few people that I've already talked to that have some really cool events and things that she could do that are Black owned. So I'll share that with you. She might be interested.
Definitely.
Yeah, you got to get your dad down.
Yes, that's a little bit of work. That's a little bit. But my dad has cruised with me, which was a big step. Cool. So he's gone out, but he's not staying out for long. He's like doing one tour and he's like, okay, I'm good. Take me back to the ship. So getting him to go on the cruise, I get kudos for that because I didn't think he was ever gonna come. My boyfriend, however, he's from New York, so he's used to seeing people of all shapes, sizes, backgrounds, colors. So he's very go. He's the same way. Go, experience it, do it. I'm supporting what you're doing. I think you're gonna do great. He's like, yeah, go ahead and make all that money and bring it back home. That's his type of thing. He's like, if it's making money, go do it.
Yes.
Just bring all the money back home so I can sit back and lounge around. I'm like, stop it. Stop it.
That's awesome.
Everybody's very supportive. Everyone back home, all of my ship friends that I'm sharing pictures with, that I'm showing little clips of, everybody's excited. They're like, oh my God, I wish I could, see a full show. Are you going to live stream it? And I'm like,
I think I asked you that. I was like, is this going to be live? Because I wasn't sure. So just to give you guys some extra info, since we're talking about the show now, Lauren's on every Friday at, she's doing a tribute to Gladys Knight. She sounds amazing because I heard the recap last week. And also she's going to be at Act 2, the number 2, Act 2 PV, which is for Puerto Vallarta. So if you're in Puerto Vallarta when you're watching this, or you plan on going to Puerto Vallarta, please check her out. You can buy tickets at pvshows with an s.com, pvshows.com, and it's every Friday at 6 through May 2022. This is really amazing because I don't think I've run into anyone else or interviewed anyone else that actually has a gig singing here, and she sounds amazing. So I'm just sharing it. Maybe do you have a fan page, or is it just your personal page?
I do. So the actual Gladys page is on Facebook.
Okay.
And it's titled A Tribute to Gladys Knight.
Okay.
The Empress of Soul.
Okay, hold on. Make sure that's in the description. Empress of Soul. Okay. I love it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. No, not a gig. So there is, I don't know if you've met Empress. Her name is Empress also.
Anderson.
Yes.
Yes, I met her.
She lives in Miss Malo, which is close to Puerto Vallarta. She's been a jazz singer, but I don't know if she has an ongoing thing, an ongoing act. But yeah, I interviewed her and her husband, Ray. So that's going to be coming on before this one. Well, it's already out there, you guys. I'm just going to say this because it's coming in this present moment. But by the time this comes out, it will already have aired. But they also have a singing background, but I don't think she has a space in PV. So this is really good.
I didn't know that Empress was a singer.
She's a jazz singer. She performed for 20 years in Germany. Okay. And now she's living in Miss Maloya, which is really close to PV. And I interviewed them, and she also sang a little line. That's why I was like, you got to sing us a little line. We'll save it for the end. But no, that's a beautiful thing. I love your story. I think that, that's really amazing for you to have something you enjoy doing and be able to do it here in Mexico, and I think that the fact that you have kind of a ongoing situation. So I know you were introduced to the situation by a friend, but how did it work, if you don't mind me asking, with, going through this theater? Because yeah, I'm sure that you had to set a contract. Did they approach you? Did you have to do anything special to be able to work there?
No. So Kevin had been working at Act 2 for a year.
Okay.
He is the only Black male.
Okay.
There. There is another Black female singer. Her name is Deanna Villamonte.
Okay.
She's Panamanian, but she identifies as Black. She's the same skin color, complexion as me and you. But Kevin was the only Black African American.
Okay.
At PV, and he ended up becoming one of the highest ticket sellers.
Nice. Okay.
So with the track record, Kevin has also produced in New York.
Okay.
So he pitched it to the owner, and he said, hey, how do you guys feel about me producing 2 shows? And he had several conversations, and they said, yeah. So I never had to go through the actual owner. I know who he is. I speak to him all the time. He's really, really great. As far as auditioning for him or talking to him or him giving me a contract, no, it has all gone under Kevin Anthony, because he's producing that particular show.
Okay.
But the only thing I've had to do in association with the theater is to promote the show. So they had this season for the month where they call it the greatest show on earth. And it's free to the public. And all of the performers that have a season at Act 2 get to showcase and promote their show.
Okay.
So you do a song or two. I think it's about 30 performers, maybe.
Okay.
And it's only 3 of us that are Black. So all it took was for one Black girl to get up there and sing Gladys, and maybe 5 Black people in the audience. And all I know is after the show, we took pictures. They said, "Oh my God, we did not know that you were going to be coming. We do not have any Black people here."
Y'all hear that?
And I said, "Yeah, Kevin's starting, his, production of shows. And I'm a part of this other show called Motown, which features myself, Kevin Anthony, and another young lady from Baltimore, Maryland named Joy Carter." So that is the other show that that Kevin is producing as well, that we're in. But after that, they told me about this group called Black PV. And they say, you need to join it. You need to start posting your stuff in there, because when we know it's a Black person coming, we're there. We're supporting.
Right.
So I met so many beautiful people, and they all came in like droves.
Wow, I love it.
And I was telling them just in conversation, I was like, yeah, I have to promote this show. I have to do these weekly clips, these weekly promo shows. And the Red Room, which is the room that I perform in Act 2. So there are 5 theaters. So there's a main stage, a rooftop, like a small little lounge, the Red Room, and the Encore Lounge.
Okay.
I'm in the Red Room, which is one of the smallest. So it seats 120 people. And it may be 80 seats now because of they have social distance seats in there as well.
Okay.
So it seats 80 people. And one of the ladies, I call her my auntie. So I call them the Black Aunties. It's a group. And she said, don't you worry about selling no tickets. She said, we got you. She said, we have seen you. She said, you are beautiful. She said, and you can sing. And she said, with us, you got to represent for the culture. She said, and you are all that and a bag of chips. So she said,
2 bags of chips.
Right. She said, I have some friends that I have known for years that are coming to Puerto Vallarta. They are now building their home. They are staying with us until their home is complete. And she said, we're coming to your show. She said, we'll come every month if it means supporting you and putting money in your pocket so that you can flourish. She said, you have nothing to worry about. She said, it's not that many Black people here. She mentioned another gentleman that performs at the Palm. I can't remember his name, but she said, it's only a handful of you. She said, when you're good, you're good. She said, it don't matter what color you are. When you're good, you're good. But she said, it makes it extra special when you Black. And she had been living in Puerto Vallarta, I think she said 13 years now.
Okay.
And she said she's gone to Act 2 before, but she's never seen anybody Black. So she said, I am like a kid in a candy store. She said, I'm coming. And she came my opening night, and she's coming this Friday as well. She said, I'm coming until I don't have no more money to give. She said, I will come to your show every single week. She said, and I know some people, they'll come every month. She said, but don't you worry about selling no tickets. She said, of course, keep posting your stuff.
Right.
But she said, don't worry. We gonna tell them, have you heard Gladys? There's a girl from Charlotte. She's singing Gladys. We gotta go. It's Friday at 6. So yeah,
I love it.
I'm just great. I'm grateful for that
I
because
love it.
I
And
had no idea.
yeah, and you know what's really special about this too is, you know, with the cruise ship is transient. And this is like, these are people you're going to get to know, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? That will back you, you know, you're in your young 30s and these people are going to be with you for life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to support you wherever you end up. They're going to be testimonials for you, etc. And, you know, this is true about how we kind of move in Mexico, I think is definitely of a different vibe than when we live in the US because we're just happy to see each other. I mean, the people that live here, you know, because sometimes, for example, in San Miguel, I'll see, you know, other Blacks, and I can always tell from their response whether or not they live here or just got here or planning to move here versus a tourist. Because a tourist person acts like how we act in the US, which is like, why are they talking to me? And depending on where you're from, because I know in the South,
Right.
they're a little friendlier.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in New England, close to New York, in Connecticut, and we were like, what? Like, what are you talking to me? You know, we're just constantly going like, what? But in saying that, since I've moved here, you know, I get super excited. I want to know, like, who are you? What are you up to?
Right.
And this is part of the reason why I even created the community for SMA, but also to feature other Black expats in Mexico, because I wanted people to see, and I say this on a lot of my videos, I want people to see that we are here and we're flourishing and we're doing well. And it is an option for you, you know, providing your finances dictate that. But, you know, there's a way to get here and actually shed these layers that we have culturally, which tend to be a little bit more like hands off, don't bother me, or, you know, we're not as supportive. But I feel like here for sure, we get excited, you know, and I think we don't even really realize maybe parts of the Black culture that we miss until it's presented to us in a situation like this. Caribbean food, getting our hair done, products, you know, we're like, oh yeah, oh wait a minute, you know. And so for me, this is really exciting, especially because you're doing your telegrams. This is a great segue. You can talk about that as well. But as far as like performing and things, I mean, and I don't know if this is, you know, allowed or you have time for it, but consider, you know, maybe moving about a little bit on your off days, non-Fridays, if you have time. Because yeah, I'm sure a crap load of people will show up in San Miguel. And I'll tell you that because there are people who perform here. I went to a Motown tribute. I've heard of the Nina Simone tribute, and it was sold out. I like thought I was just gonna roll up and be like, okay, I'll buy a ticket at the door. No, it was a full room of white folks. Thank you, white folks, for showing up. This is not a bad thing. And we thought we were just going to roll up and buy tickets. Nope, they were like, sorry, sold out. But I did the Motown tribute, which was in a theater here a couple years ago, also sold out. It was packed. And like you said, I don't know that there were any Black performers, and the people that performed were good, but there weren't any Black performers to my knowledge or what I remember, but they were still good. It was just kind of like, you know, okay, this is cool, but there's just something about that soul.
Just is missing a little seasoning.
Yeah, put some Lowry's and some Old Bay on it. Yeah. Just a little. I'm nothing against the efforts. It was good. And I appreciate it because I'm like, okay, you know, but I really think that, you know, that's something for you to consider. Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
My husband's over here giving me he's like, I'll set the show up. He actually used to promote shows in the US. So yeah, we'll talk more about it off camera. That would be a lot of fun. I'm sure we can maybe do something one day out of the week in the coming months. But no, I love it.
Just let
So
me know.
yeah, tell me about the telegrams. Let's talk about the singing telegrams.
Ooh, so singing telegrams started a year ago.
Okay.
It started in the height of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So I quit Carnival September of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make a living on land singing.
Mm-hmm.
I then joined a wedding band,
Mm-hmm.
and just started gigging every weekend doing weddings.
Mm-hmm.
Then COVID hit. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to make money? My boyfriend started doing virtual parties.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't sing in a room full of people. This was when we were on curfew. And I said, you know what? I had a couple friends that were stuck on board the cruise ship.
Mm-hmm. I remember
They
that.
go home. And two of those friends committed suicide.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
So I had one friend who was actually in the band with me, the very last band.
Mm-hmm.
He's originally from Venezuela,
Mm-hmm.
and he played the trumpet. So I said, let's just make some music, just to make time for him
Mm-hmm.
pass by. And I said, I kind of blame myself for just a fraction of it for the friends who had committed suicide, because I feel like I wasn't there enough for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, you're on a ship. My logic was, you're on a ship, you're okay, you got food, you got water, you got your necessities.
Mm-hmm.
Here for me, we had just gotten our apartment. We, at that moment, went through half of our savings
Mm-hmm.
to pay for rent, even
Mm-hmm.
though we could have very well gotten on a assistance program. Um, and I said, I can't just allow another friend to kind of fall by the wayside. So we're both musicians. Let's just make it work. So from there, I say, you know what? I posted it in a group called Charlotte Black Business.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, if anyone needs a pick me up
Mm-hmm.
for me to sing, I'll sing to you. It was just the cheesiest thing. That one post, I think within an hour, got 500 likes.
Wow. Wow.
And it got 80 some comments
Wow.
of, I needed this today. This is such a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Some people even started tagging other singers in it that they knew. And then I said, if anyone is having a birthday, let me know, and I'll go and sing them a song. So this one guy, he wasn't a friend of mine, so his message went into that message request box that we rarely ever check.
The black hole box.
Right. And he said, my grandmother's birthday is coming up, and I was wondering if you could sing her a song or sing her happy birthday. So I said, okay. And I was going to do this for free. And he gave me the address. I said, hey, I'm on my way. And he said, well, how much, do you charge? And I said, well, what do you think is fair? So he cashed at me $65.
Wow.
I was like, that's a lot of money just to sing happy birthday. Happy birthday doesn't even take 10 seconds.
Right.
So I felt like I was cheating this man out of his money. So I took some of that money and I got flowers and I got balloons.
Oh.
So I drove to this lady's house. and I ring the doorbell, and I kind of like stand in the yard, and she opens the door, but she has the glass door in front of it. And I said, "Hey, Miss Barbara, is today your birthday?" And the first thing she says is, "Baby, who are you?"
Of course, because that's what we do.
And I said, "I'm Lauren. Your grandson Dre said it was your birthday and he wanted me to sing you happy birthday, sing you a song." And she closed the door and she locked it.
Oh no.
And I was standing there like, do I stay here? Do I not? This lady gonna call the police. So I call him, and he's on the other line with her, and he says, "It's okay, don't leave. My grandma's gonna come back outside." I said, "Okay." So she comes out and she said, "Baby, I had no idea who you were. It's crazy people in this world.
That's true.
They
It's
got this
COVID
thing coming around. I'm old. I'm not ready to leave." That's exactly what she said. She said, "I'm old and I'm not ready to leave." So she said, "Go ahead and do what you was about to do, because I don't know why Dre's sending people over to my house knowing that, she just went on a tangent.
Oh no.
Go ahead, go finish." So I sing her happy birthday. I tried to give her her balloons. She's told me to tie them up on the iron rail, sit her flowers down. She said, "Because they say COVID stay on surfaces for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let it sit there until COVID got off." So I was trying so hard not to laugh, but also not be offended, but also be like, "You know what? She's got a point. I'm just out here silly willy nilly."
That's so
So
cute,
she told
though.
me, she told me thank you, and she said she got to get back to watching something, and she closed the door and she locked it. So I told my mom, I was like, "Mom, you would not believe, I just went and sang to this lady." And I said, "I could have gone to jail today. Just singing somebody a song, trying to pass off
A little
cheers."
joy. Yeah.
And my mom said, "Well, that's called a singing telegram. That's what that is. That's basically what you just did." She said, "You could make some money off of it because you're singing to one person. You're not
You're not in a
singing to a
crowd.
crowd." Yeah.
Right.
So I said,
Mm-hmm.
a light bulb came on. So I saved, I think I did two more after that.
Mm-hmm.
And I saved up my money. I got my business license.
Mm-hmm.
I got my articles of organization. I did my website within a week,
Mm-hmm.
and I posted it. And I had that young man give a live review from his home.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I never got a live review from his grandmother, but it was him booking the service and giving his feedback. And after that, I started going into a lot of small owned business groups, women owned business groups, Black business groups, entrepreneur groups, and I just started blasting everything out there. And from there, I just started getting a lot of people saying, "Hey, we want you to do this singing telegram here." And then it became taxing because I was like, I'm not really making any money off of the service. I'm spending money in gas. So of course I had to bump up my prices just a little bit.
Right.
And from there, I started getting a lot of corporate businesses. "Hey, our boss, has been with the company for 20 years. Why don't you send him a telegram?" So I started getting live reviews like, "Hey, you just got a singing telegram from Queen City Singing Telegrams. How was it? Oh my God, it was amazing. Yada, yada, yada.
So
So
cool.
it just flourished from there.
Mhm.
And I put it on Google.
Mhm.
And that's how I started getting the different markets,
Okay.
because Google is one of the #1 search engines.
Exactly.
So with the reviews, with the likes, with the recommendations, and there are only 4 other singing telegram businesses in Charlotte.
Okay.
2 of them are permanently closed, which
Ah,
leaves me in
too.
another business.
Right.
Right. So I'm the only Black owned
Mm.
business
Good
for
for
singing
you.
telegram. So I branched off from Charlotte, and this is all within a year's time.
Mhm.
So I branched off from North Carolina to South Carolina. So I service South Carolina as well.
Mhm.
I service Alabama. I service Florida. Florida is the hardest market because I have Disney World.
Mhm.
So I have kind of like an indirect competition.
Right.
But
How so?
now
How so? Like just the entertainment aspect?
it's the entertainment aspect. I'm getting a lot of people that are thinking, if I book a singing telegram with you and say, can you dress up as a princess
Mm.
for a fraction of the cost?
Oh, okay.
Get a Disney princess ranges between $1,500 to $2,000.
Oh, so what do they want you to pay, or what do they want to pay you?
They want to keep
Average?
me at my rate, which is $350.
Oh.
So hey, let me book you.
And they want you to dress up?
And say, hey, because I have a service called a charactergram,
Oh,
where you
okay.
dress as a specific character. So
Okay.
Florida is like, I can save $2,200
Mhm.
by getting the $300 telegram and just ask, can you dress up as the Little Mermaid?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
I,
yeah, it took
I
me a
see.
while to catch on, and I was like,
I see the logic, but yeah, if it
yeah.
doesn't sit well with
It was
you,
like, and for them, that's the loophole that I didn't think people would find. And it makes sense. I have to give it up to them, because think about it. You're saying for $300, you can dress, I can send someone to your home to dress up as a character.
right.
A Disney princess is a character. So I have to put special stipulations on certain characters.
That makes
So,
sense.
and it only took someone doing it and me actually doing the research saying, hey, I'm losing $2,200 that I could possibly make. So that's the new entrepreneurial,
Lesson.
lesson that I got from that. I was like, oh no,
Right.
absolutely not. So
And
now,
that's normal. I mean, being an
yeah,
entrepreneur, you learn as you go. Just like you said, you started with whatever this guy offered, and you're like, that's a lot of money for a 10-second song. But then when you start realizing I can formulate this into a business, because it's my time, it's my gas, it's my energy, time you can't get back. Then you just grow, you grow with that. I mean, we all do. Every entrepreneur grows with, and it's either if you don't, and you just keep putting yourself out there physically, or your, brain power out there without charging the right amount, then, then you're probably going to fail at some
and
point.
my thing was, oh my God, no one's going to pay this price. And my boyfriend was like, Lauren, in New York, a telegram, your basic telegram is $350 without a link.
Exactly.
So he said, a lot of people from New York are here in the Carolinas.
That's true.
So he said, you're basically getting New Yorkers that are used to paying that price. So he said, keep the price where it is. So he said, why don't you just do your telegrams in Mexico? And I said, well, I have to open my show first.
Yeah.
And I have to see how that's going to work. Of course, the cost of living is significantly cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the prices are like dirt cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for me to take a Uber to Bucerias is probably $15.
Yes. And how far is Bucerias again from Puerto
Bucerias
Vallarta?
is about 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's cheap.
Is that taken off so far for you? I know you kind of are just starting, or I know you put it out there. Have you had kind of a good response to it so far?
I've gotten a good response. Again, I just have the telephone telegrams, which that's fine.
Yeah.
If I don't have to get out of the house to do them, that's fine. But the actual experience is me going to someone's house and performing them. And it's also an Americanized way, aside from the mariachi bands that they have, because I heard that's a really big thing there.
Huge.
But surprisingly, I've gotten singers that have inboxed me and said, hey, are you looking to hire any singers to do your singing telegrams? And if that's the case, that would definitely work, because if someone books me, say on a Friday at 5:30, I'm not able to do it because I'm doing my show. So if I hire someone to do it, that's money in my pocket. It's not as much as if I were doing it on my own, but some money to me is better than no money. So yeah, pay that singer to do it, and then I take a percentage of it. Exactly. So if that's the case, that's something that I could operate once I leave, because now I know the area, I know how far it is, I know where, to get the products.
And you establish your brand, yourself as a brand, and you get quality people to do the same work that you would deliver, and you don't need a ton. I'm sure you would, once you're
just need about 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a great idea.
I would have to, of course, with the singers that I have in Charlotte, when I started hiring singers, the first question I asked them was, do you know what a singing telegram is? And a lot of them had no idea what a singing telegram was. They just saw, I need a singer to do singing telegrams. They was like, oh, I sing, I can do singing telegrams. But from there, whenever I had a singing telegram booked, I had them come with me
so they can really get it,
what it looks like, forward, backwards, side to side. Like, this is what you're expected to do. Right. So if you're comfortable with doing this, let me know. Now here's your free training of what to expect.
I love that.
This is how you approach the client. This is what you say to them, because again, it's supposed to be a surprise. Make sure you're acknowledging the client, because just and through my own mistakes, I had this one lady book me for a telegram in a restaurant. And again, it's trial and error, me needing to learn. And I didn't have a picture of who I was surprising. I just knew what they had on. I ended up singing to the wrong person.
Uh-oh. Well, again, you learn as you go.
Oh yeah. Craig has a red shirt and black pants. Well, I get back there and there are 3 men with red shirts, different variations of red and black shirts. I don't know if Craig is black, white. I don't know if Craig has a bald head, if Craig has dreads, if Craig has blonde hair. So I always ask, when it's a restaurant setting, to let me see a picture of the person, or leave that information with the hostess and let the hostess direct me where. But if it's someone's house, I'll just assume that the person that I'm asking for is the person that's going to answer the door. But yeah, I was like, okay, this seems awkward. Sir, happy birthday.
Early or late?
Yeah, earlier late. Let me go over across the room and sing happy
Let me
birthday.
find the right person. Well, you learned as you went along this journey.
Yeah.
This is so fun. Yeah, so like just in wrapping, I want to have you drop us a little line. But
Okay.
before you do that, just kind of talk a little bit more like overall, what do you think will happen after May 22? Do you think you'll want to stay in Mexico, or is it just kind of, this is what I'm doing now? I know that it's, you're young and you probably have plenty of opportunities, but as far as living here, what's your like feeling or vibe about just being here and living in PV?
First of all, I love it. It is a huge adjustment, trying to navigate where to find certain things, certain products.
Mm-hmm.
Even grocery shopping is a task, but it's a task that is challenging me to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do think that this will be a year, like a seasonal gig. So I'll
Mm-hmm.
come the same time next year,
Oh, nice.
just to, just to do shows. For me, it works hand in hand from the States because no one gets married in the winter.
True.
So money wise, survival wise, it makes sense for me to spend this time of the year
Mm-hmm.
here, which is high season.
Mm-hmm.
And then once, wedding season peaks back up, who knows if I'll even be doing weddings again when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
My sole concentration is to book Gladys in Charlotte
Okay.
so that people can see it in person. But for Mexico, as far as living here, I do want to learn and get as much information as I can to at least have a property here, whether it's a
Okay.
small apartment
Mm-hmm.
or a house.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the money that I'm making, of course, I'm saving that, to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
But next season, who knows? I could just be using all of that money to go towards a property
That would be great.
and, Airbnb it out or use it as a vacation home or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If there are other international artists that need a place to stay, there are different things that I would want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I do know for certain that I would like to have my business here.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a supply shop
Mm-hmm.
for Black women. I'm all about my wigs
Please,
and weaves and
please, sister.
yeah. So that's one of the things where I don't mind traveling back and forth
Mm-hmm.
to work,
Right.
because I like the adrenaline from it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the joy of getting on the phone and saying, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna be in town. I think I'm gonna be in Mexico."
Yes.
Or I don't think I'm gonna be in Mexico. I'm going back to Charlotte for a hot minute, work on some things, and then come back.
That's awesome.
So that is definitely in the mix. Getting a property here for sure. And maintaining my singing telegram business here, learn the culture and staying true to the culture here, but also bringing an Americanized way that's not disrespectful in a sense,
Right.
with singing telegrams. Um, yeah, and coming back next year doing Gladys
I
and
love
making
it.
the show even longer because it's a 90-minute show with a
Mm-hmm.
10-minute intermission. So
Mm-hmm. And
yeah,
branching out a
actually,
little bit,
yeah,
moving
yeah,
around a little. I'm telling you, you'll be well received. You would definitely be well received in areas and places that have a high expat, concentration,
yeah.
starting with San Miguel. Yes, you got to come here. We would love that. So, yeah, well, grace us with, it doesn't have to be a whole song, just a
Let me get my
Speed of a
water.
song. Oh, okay, yay. I feel honored, you guys. She can sing. She
So
can.
I'm
She
just
doesn't
gonna
sing.
do
She can sing.
right. I'm gonna do a little snippet from That's What Friends Are For.
I love it.
And I never thought I'd feel this way. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm glad I finally came to say that I do believe I love you. And if I should ever go away, well, then close your eyes and find I'm glad I find the chance to say that I do believe I love you. So keep smiling, keep shining. Know that you can always count on me for sure. That's what friends are for. And good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for.
Wow. Oh my God. You're bringing tears to my eyes. Amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was beautiful.
If you ever need me, and how far is San Miguel from Puerto Vallarta?
It's like about a 10-hour ride or so, but you can always fly here, you know. You're
Yes.
always welcome to hang out with us.
Yes.
That was amazing. I think the lack of having access just made me really emotional. So thanks for sharing your story. Thank you all for watching. This is beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Your story is inspirational. That's what I'm here for, is to share that with people. Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Finally, I'm glad we got everything to work, because last week we were having some Zoom troubles, y'all, and they were just not, it wasn't happening, but I'm glad
devil was trying. The devil was trying.
Yes, trying to hold back, but here we are. We're on this journey and we continue to be on it. And I really send you lots of blessings and congratulations on everything you're doing in PV. It's beautiful. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good, happy holidays, because this is probably going to air after. Yes. So I hope you guys had a happy holiday. Or I'll try my best to get it in there around the Christmas time, and all this information about what she does, where she is, will be in the description box. If you guys want to sing in Telegram, there you go. You have it. Lauren's amazing. And I'm glad that you're here blessing the people in Mexico with your presence. It's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll speak soon. Have a great day. Thank you guys for subscribing, listening, watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you love my content, or you haven't yet already. And we'll see Lauren again sometime, I'm sure, in the near future, somewhere else in Mexico.
Yes.
Have a blessed rest of your day.
All I need is the invitation and I am there.
Yes, yes, you'll be getting one from us for sure.
Okay.
All right, my dear.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.